The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Reaper Apparel offers a casual line of superb fit, finish, and comfort. We design for those who refuse to die slowly and choose to live untamed. For those who aren't afraid to face the dark, for the ones that thrive in it, and for those who can appreciate life through a grim lens. That's Reaper Apparel Company. Go to the link in the description of this episode, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my own personal merch store, the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. I have hats, I have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, water bottles, notebooks, you name it, I've got it. The description and the link for that will be in the description of this episode. Also, right now, if you use the promo code WELCOME, I will give you 5% off of your first purchase. That's the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Tactical Brotherhood, all American-made apparel, which helps support the Second Amendment. You can also find all this in the description of this episode with the link, Tactical Brotherhood. Part of every proceed does go to helping veterans, as it is a very good cause. All American-made products made right here in Minnesota. Go and check them out. Use the promo code PATRIOT15 to get 15% off your purchase. Now, let's start the show. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I have a great episode for us today, but first I want to remind everyone, please go back and peep all of the sponsors from the beginning. That is Reaper Apparel, as you can see with the hats that I'm wearing here. My own personal merch store, the Stupid Should Hurt merch store, and Core Wealth Benefits. All of those will be in the description of this episode and in the show notes too as well. We did just get another sponsor in here that I didn't have time to record, so I want to get them out there. That is Tactical Brotherhood. They specialize in all American-made apparel, all made right here in Colorado. So go them. Part of all the proceeds that are made by Tactical Brotherhood go to helping support our veterans. It's a great cause. Use the promo code PATRIOT15. You'll get 15% off. That link also in the description of this episode too as well. That is a mouthful for the start, but my guest today is coming to us from Northeast Ohio. We're going to get into what he does. He's played a little bit of sports, and he's a good friend of former guest Tony Bogan. Lamar Sykes joins the show. Lamar, thanks for joining, buddy.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Hey, so first and foremost, how do you know Tony Bogan? Like, how did y'all hook up?
Tony, that's my guy. I met Tony a little over a year ago at a basketball invitational, the NEO Youth Elite. Sonny Johnson is like, I think maybe 6-7 basketball games over the course of 2 days, and Tony was reporting for Keon Sports, and Tony's just, full of energy, came up and introduced himself to me, and since that day, we've been cool. I love his work ethic, and it's just an amazing spirit, and so, me and Tony, we've kind of been on the scene. We, see each other a lot. When we're shooting games, I do photography and videography. So we, football games, basketball games, things like that. Yeah. Come across Tony quite a bit.
Tony seems to be everywhere up where y'all are at. You can't go any sporting event without seeing my man Tony.
Yes, indeed.
Love Tony to death. He's been on the show a couple of times, a couple of roundtables we've had, and just his level of being prepared for something.
It's unbelievable.
Blows my mind. He was on. We were doing a college football preview show for the college football playoffs. He was one of the panel that was on it, and I was just like, man, Tony is like leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. I thought I knew sports. I'm a big sports fanatic. Like he takes it to a whole nother level for sure.
Yeah, it's like that show, Stump the Schwab. Back in the days, like Tony's the Schwab.
I forgot all about that show. That was a phenomenal. We need to try to bring that back, but have Tony be the show.
For sure, absolutely.
So, you said you're a videographer and a photographer. Is that what you do for a career, or what do you do for a career now?
Not at all. So, for my career, I work for the federal government, and I'm a data analyst. So,
Mom never ceased to fail to call when I'm recording your shows. Call her
that's
back.
awesome. But yeah, so I do data analytics for a living right now. I've been working for the federal government almost 15 years, and I've been doing photography this is my 11th year doing photography. Started out doing just portrait work, weddings, senior photos, things of that nature, and then when the pandemic came, kind of stuck in the house for about a year. We took it really serious, and we weren't really going outside. And I was just kind of like, hey, man, let me get back into this a little bit. But I didn't want to be in close quarters with anybody. So I started, shooting football games. I could be outside capturing images and, plenty space. And then from there, it just kind of took off. And now I got my own platform called Sky High Sports, covering high school sports, college sports where I can get in, and hopefully one day we'll be covering sports on a regular, pro sports on a regular basis. So, in a nutshell, if you know me through some of the work that you've seen, my sports stuff, that's where you know me from Sky High Sports. But most folks in my life, they know me through my other career and working in the government.
Okay, so I got so many questions. First off, what made you want to work for we'll go with the federal government. What made you want to work for the federal government?
Well, that's an interesting story in itself. So I graduated from college, Youngstown State University, in 2009.
Okay.
And so I was going to school. I wanted to be working in banking, community development banking specifically. And in 2009, you had your financial collapse. And so as I'm in my last semester of school, banks are firing people by the tens of thousands. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to have a job, might as well, strap in and maybe go to get a master's degree or something to wait this thing out. But at the time, I did have an offer on the table before I graduated with a specific agency. And I thought like they offered some pretty good benefits. And I'm like, well, they offer to kind of pay some tuition, things of that nature. I'm like, hey, I'll just treat it like another internship. And in a few years, when things pass, I'll get back into community development banking. It just never happened. And I've been with that agency for, like I said, this is year 14. So, yeah.
You know what? I always say I'd rather be lucky than good any day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that seems that story is the embodiment of that.
Yes, indeed.
People would get on me all the time about sports. Like when I was playing high school football, they're like, "Man, how did you make that catch?" Dude, I'd rather be lucky than good. That was a lucky catch. I'll tell you, I'm not the cockiest guy in the world. I made the catch, but hey,
yes, indeed.
I don't. I'd rather be lucky than good, and I was so lucky most of the time.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely a blessing at the time. It was a scary time for a lot of people. Scary time for me. I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio. And so, at that point in time, like I only knew Youngstown. I only cared about Youngstown. I wanted to help redevelop Youngstown. And, I made my way up to Cleveland. I've been here ever since. So I love, I've spent almost just as much time in Cleveland as I did in Youngstown. So Cleveland, that's my home now. So,
I'm in Cleveland a good bit, or around Cleveland, with my comedy and everything like that. I've done so many shows I think I've burned out Youngstown. I've done so many shows in Youngstown that's like I know so many comics there. They're like, "Hey, Mike, go somewhere else. Like we love you, but go somewhere else, man."
That's great.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. I'll do if you got a stage and a microphone.
Yes, indeed.
I'll let your boy. I'll be there. But I get what you were saying though with the photography too as well. You know, when the pandemic hit, like took it very seriously. My career in being a comedian, like it pretty much shut down. You know, there was no shows, there was nothing. You know, these virtual shows, kind of like and I was probably one of the only ones. Everyone's like, "Well, why aren't you doing any virtual shows?" I was like, "Well, 90% of my act is crowd work. I can't really do crowd work via virtual when I can't see them all, hear them, and feed off of their energy." You know, I did a couple just because, try out some new material and stuff like that. But it was just like, it was such a weird thing to be doing my set in my home and like in front of my computer. Like that, it was weird to me. But so I get it, with wanting to, distance yourself. Even when shows started to open up, seeing the distance, not being able to shake the host's hand when they're introducing you and everything like that, giving the elbow or whatever. And, having to wear a mask up onto the stage and to take it off to do my set and then to put it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
I'm so glad it's calmed down. You said you went to Youngstown State. Why Youngstown State? I mean, other than being from Youngstown, was that the only reason there, or was there other reasons that made you choose Youngstown State?
Another interesting story. I don't know how much time you got tonight.
All day. I got all night. Let's go.
When I was getting ready to graduate high school, I was an underachiever. Like I was really smart growing up. Like when math competitions, science fairs, I got to high school and it was just kind of easy. I was doing sports, I was into girls, and school just kind of was like, it was easy to me. And so even when I was getting ready to graduate, like after football season, my last football season, I'm like, all right, I got to get some money coming in, And so I started working little odds and ends jobs through like temp services and stuff like that, just trying to make some money. And when I finally did get a little bit of steady money coming in, I had this idea to sort of take a gap year, right? One of those things that I would never suggest, in real life now. But I wanted to take this gap year, so I didn't apply to any schools, or at least I didn't remember applying to any schools. But I actually, there was a program, some mentors, some guys wanted to do like a mentoring program at my high school. And I remember when they came, they brought college applications with them. And we got to apply for free. And that was the only application that I actually put in for college. And so it worked out because it was a really good school. It's kind of where I wanted to go. I just didn't want to go at that time. And so over the summer, of course, whatever epiphany came to me, it was like, I need to get in school. I went to school and then, I met some good mentors at that time and everything really changed for me, at that point. So luck, again, luck strikes again. Yeah.
Man. I always tell people all the time, because people ask me all the time, like, why did you go to Bethany College? Like, you were always talking about WVU, and because I'm a West Virginia, born and raised West Virginian, and everyone's always, dude, you bleed blue and gold. Like, what made you want to go to Bethany? I was like, well, I had a bunch of D1 scholarships to swim my junior year. WVU was one of them. I was so pumped. It was a dream of mine. Senior year of football, I hurt my shoulder and couldn't swim my senior year. Every single school dropped their scholarship except for Bethany College.
Man, that's terrible.
everyone was like, I was like, yeah. So I went where the money was.
Indeed.
They were giving me
Indeed.
a good bit of money to go and
Get
play
some of that
and
paper.
swim there. So I said, okay, let's go D3 instead of D1. All right, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I would.
They
I
treat
know
you good there?
they did. I wouldn't change it for the world, though. Everyone's
Excellent.
like, I hear bad things, this and that, and third, whatever. I was like, you know what? Yeah, excuse my French, shit happens. But it's like I don't. I wouldn't change what happened because it got me to where I am today. So,
Yes, indeed.
like you said, and like we've said, luck struck. Like Bethany kept their scholarship because if they didn't, I had no idea what I was doing with school because kind of like you. I mean, I in high school, played football, I swam, I was an athlete, didn't really care about my studies that much. And typical teenager into girls, it was dumb kid.
Yeah, understood. Exactly where I was.
So, I get that 100% with what you were doing, but so you're filming sports now and everything like that. So take me through a little bit more of your background. I know you said you played a little bit of ball too as well. So take me through a little bit of your sports background.
Okay. Well, it's not too extensive, but of course, growing up like Youngstown, one of my dreams was, I want to play pro ball, buy my mom a house, all of that razzle dazzle. And when I was younger, just playground football, little league football, and I was pretty good. I get to junior high, around junior high school. I don't know. You said you're from West Virginia. You familiar with Keelan Dykes?
Yeah.
Keelan Dykes. So I went to high school. I played with Keelan Dykes, right?
Okay.
But in the neighborhood, Keelan lived a few streets down. He's actually the person that convinced me to play football in junior high school. And he said, one thing with me, I didn't like getting hit.
Yeah.
I was on the playground. I thought I was Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders. Like those were my idols. So like I like to shake and bake and, all of that razzle dazzle. I didn't like getting hit. But Keelan said, hey, if you come out and play for Vonnie Rogers Junior High School, he's like, man, it's not like that. You're not going to get hit like that. And so I'm like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. And so, you play football. You're familiar with the scout team. Of course, in seventh grade, I come in and playing scout team. And we had a kid named Delbert Ferguson. Not sure if you're familiar with this kid.
I know that name, but I can't put a face to him. But yeah, I know that name.
Yeah, so he was in high school. At one point, I think he was maybe like a top recruit in football. He broke his leg his senior year, and things kind of unraveled for him. But I think he ended up playing some ball at Cincinnati. But he was, at this point, I'm probably like about 110 pounds, maybe in the seventh grade. And Delbert is like a full-grown man, and he's at least probably 190, and I mean, he's an elite athlete in the eighth grade. And so every single day after school, go to practice, and I'm scout team running back, and I'm getting teed off on by Delbert Ferguson for a whole year. So I'm like, I'm quitting. Like this is not for me. And Keelan convinced me to, and he's in high school at this time, but he's in the neighborhood. So I keep on playing, and every year after that, I tried to quit. Literally every single year after that, I quit. After seventh grade, I quit. Somebody convinced me to come back. Eighth grade, I quit. Somebody convinced me to come after that. Ninth grade year, played freshman ball, really good. Tried to quit. Came back 10th grade, and I'm finally like, all right, I can do this thing, And so at that point, I got a little bit of like varsity special teams time in like 10th grade, but JV, I was the guy. I was a running back, defensive back, kick returner, all of that. So junior year is supposed to be my year. We did pretty good. We went 9-1. My junior year, I think we won a playoff game, got knocked out in I think the regional game in 10th grade. Well, not 10th grade, 12th grade, my senior year. We were supposed to be just as good as the last year, but that didn't quite work out. And at this time, I'm still not gaining any weight. Like I'm 150 pounds maybe, but I'm playing tailback. 20, 25 carries a game. I think we were Division II, Youngstown Cheney. So we're playing some pretty good competition and all of that. And I just can't pack on any weight. And so like I said, I'm 150 pounds. I'm getting hurt often. I'm like, I don't have elite speed. I'm like, this is coming to an end, right? And so that's why I said, like, I gotta figure something out. And that's when I want to get some money, this, that, and the third. But like I said, high school football, I was a running back. I was decent, man. Nothing like some of these kids today. Some of these kids, it's outrageous. The programs that they're a part of in terms of like, nutrition, weightlifting, stuff like that is just like, probably like what we would have considered college level stuff. Yeah. Now they got it in high school. And so these kids are elite. Northeast Ohio has, to me, some of the best sports in the whole country. And so, but like I said, I just had to make a decision, and I didn't want to play anymore, Yeah. But nowadays I get to, see it from another lens, no pun intended. But I enjoy still being able to be around the game, a part of the game, different sports. Like I said, football, that was my thing. I did some track as well. Got smoked quite a bit. Yeah. When I graduated high school, like this was when like Ted Ginn Jr. was still running it in Glenville.
Yeah, you got smoked.
So yeah, we when you're running around the track and you hear everybody going woo, because somebody just got the doors blew off. I caught a couple of those and then hoops, like basketball. I loved basketball, but this was and one mixtape era, and I thought that I could bring that to the actual game.
I think everybody did. I think everybody did at that time because I still got buddies that would try to do that, and I never played basketball. I was a swimmer. Like everyone's like, dude, you were 6'5". How do you not play basketball? I was like, have you ever seen me play basketball? I'm like, no. I'm like, that's why, because I suck. Like I'll miss a layup, dude. Like I'm that bad. Like I'm good to get rebounds. I can block a couple shots. Like that's about the extent of it. Because a couple buddies of mine, they asked me in 8th grade. I was 6'3" in 8th grade.
Okay, nice.
Maybe like you said, 100 pounds soaking wet. Like I wasn't like the biggest kid in the world. Mm-hmm. And they were like, dude, we need your height on the team. Like, could you play ball? We need some of your height. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll play just to shut y'all up. And even my coach was like, man,
might want to rethink this.
Bono. Why are you here? I was like, JD and a couple of the boys asked me to play. They said they needed my height. I don't know why. I try to tell him, coach. Like, I don't know why. If you got to cut me. Like, I'm all right with being cut. Like, I get it. He was like, unfortunately, I don't have enough people to cut you. I was like, well, I don't know how to take that, but thanks. He goes, but you can block shots and you can get rebounds. So that's what I'm going to use you for. You're going to do the tip-off. I'm going to give you about a minute, and then you're coming out of the game. He goes, basically that minute was like, if he doesn't block a shot or get like 3 rebounds in that minute, bye, you sit. You're sitting.
For sure. Understood.
I finished, I can't believe I still remember this, but I do. I finished the season with 12 points. But wait, 12 points. 12 points.
Let me guess the rebounds. You had about 300-400 rebounds.
I had 110. I had 110 rebounds and 150 blocks.
Oh, sheesh. Okay.
Needless to say,
rim protector.
We won the OVAC championship that year because nobody could come into the paint on us. Like, unless they were shooting threes. Like,
that weak stuff out of here.
It was like, everyone was like, man, this kid can't score. The only points I got, I think, was when I got fouled for getting a rebound, and they were in the bonus, and like, all right, he's got to shoot some free throws. Like, that's And so, it is what it is, but, basketball just wasn't my sport.
Right.
And I
You had some success though.
A little bit. I had a little bit,
Yeah.
for a tall, lanky white boy. I was all right, But kind of like you, I mean, I graduated high school at 155 pounds and 6'5". So like,
That's
swimming was
wild.
kind of
That's
where
your
that
thing.
was my lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was where I needed to be. I probably
Mm-hmm.
like everyone, even my dad, like my senior year of football, because I was kind of that special teamers, kickoff coverage, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They'd put me in. They moved me. This is how slow I was. They moved me from free safety to defensive end. Like that's how slow I was. But they used me on like third down pass situations. Like
Yep.
that'd be about
Put
it.
your hands up. You got to
Get
get
yeah,
close to the
yeah,
QB.
get up, or you're beating these 300 pounders off the line because they're not getting up faster than 155 pounders. So
Right.
I could get off the line pretty quick. But after that, it was like, wow, is he moving or is he walking to him? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
slow. I get it.
Understood.
And so, my dad, even like my senior year, was like, hey, you don't have to play football, right? I was like, I've been putting up with this coach's shit for 4 years. You think I'm going to stop now? Like, no, I'm
Yeah.
playing. And I probably should have listened to him.
Locked in.
Like, I probably should have listened to him. Like, it probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have hurt my shoulder. And, who knows what would have happened.
That's
But
how you hurt your shoulder in football?
yeah, honestly, it was the first day we put on pads and we were hitting the sleds. And I hit the sled and I felt like a pop and then a burning sensation go down the back of my arm and into my pinky. And at first I was like, it's a stinger, whatever. First day putting on pads, first hit, wow. I'll suck it up. I'm not a starter.
Yeah.
I gotta do what I can to get on the field, whatever. So I played the whole season. And turns out I went to swimming after the season, after our playoff game, and I went to do my stroke and something was off. And I was like, hey, coach, I got to go see the trainer or something. Like, something's up. And he told me to go to the doctor. And it turns out I had a separated shoulder that I played the entire 10-game season plus a playoff game on the whole season. It just made it worse. Like, so it was what it was. Yeah, I'm a Dago from West Virginia. Like, we were built tough. We're built different, man. Like,
Yes, sir.
With the photography and everything, I know you kind of mentioned what you got going on, but, is that the future goals with the careers, the photography and everything like that? Or, what kind of future goals do you have?
In a dream world, yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, my career, I've done well in terms of my career, development wise, salary wise, just impact wise. The photography stuff was a hobby, that I start doing something and people see it. I put it out there. People see it like, oh, can you do that for me? That's how I got into weddings. Oh, you take nice pictures. You think you could do my wedding? I'm like, what in the world? Like, you trust me with that? I'm like, I just took some pictures of some, high school kids, and now you want me to capture your wedding? I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Got good at it. Certain stuff just kind of got good at it. But now, like, building out this sports media platform, I see the potential of it. Still just trying to work on how to get some revenue coming in, things like that, to be able to sustain it, to be able to, build it out. And I think until I can do that successfully, then I'm going to continue to clock in. But in terms of like just, my career ambitions, I'm still young, relatively young. I'm 36. Like I said, I got 14 years in the government, so that means I still got about 30 more years before I can retire. But I'm enjoying the sports media stuff a lot. And as I just learn more about the ins and outs of media and videography, photography, like I just see so much potential. And my hope is that at some point, there's some money coming in and maybe I can transition. But in the meantime, I'm having a great time. The young folks, they love my platform. It's been interesting. I meet a lot of, folks like Tony, right? That just kind of keep me young, like when I'm feeling like I'm getting old and, I got a young daughter, got a She's 5, got an older daughter who is a freshman in college, a wife. And so, like, when I'm on the scene, like, doing shooting and stuff like that, oftentimes I'm, like, the oldest person out there. They got all type of nicknames for me, Father Time and OG, all the old man nicknames. And so they keep me young. And just some of the experiences that I've been able to, have in this space has been really fun, One of the cooler ones just this year, because, like, primarily, like, I've been covering high school.
Right.
Those are like the easiest ones to get access to. Like, I've had opportunity to connect with some colleges, so started doing that over the past year. And interesting story. I won't go too deep into it, but I ended up getting a credential for a Cavs game, right? But we were there. We got credentialed by the Bulls. We were there to shoot some footage of Andre Drummond. He invited 2 young boys to this game, right? They had a viral story. One of the kids had, seen his friend getting picked on because he had some messed up shoes. So he got him some shoes, and news picked up the story, and Drummond came across it and said, "Hey, like, I want to treat these kids to a game." So, again, I'm credentialed there for the Bulls. I'm supposed to be following these kids around, but I'm the second shooter, so I'm kind of rocking out, doing my thing. This was the night that Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points. So I actually got to do some photos, got to capture those moments. Luckily, you know what I'm saying? So just the catalyst of, like, 2 like 9, 10-year-old kids having a situation at school, and they got me into the Cavs arena, and I got to see a historic moment. So it's funny the way things play out.
Dude, I get it. Comedy was never on the radar for me. I had horrible stage fright. Like, crippling. Like, I'd get up on stage and just... okay. Like, it had to get a little bit of liquid courage in me. A buddy of mine convinced me to go on stage one night. He was running all these open mic nights, and... Finally, he wore me down. I was like, all right, dude, I'll get on stage, whatever. Like, I'll just to shut your ass up, like, I'll get on stage. All right. Got on stage, and I absolutely destroyed the room. Like, people who went on after me bombed because I did that well. And, like, that never happens, like, your first time on stage. Like, they were like, all right, Bono, you're going to go on. You're probably going to bomb. We're going to send you up first. After that, we're gonna save the show. I was like, whatever, man. I'm doing this just to shut you up, so whatever. And I killed. And then I caught a bug. And at first, it was, I'll just keep doing this for fun. Go do some open mic nights, some downtime, whatever. At the time, I was like, I got a pretty good thing. I'm managing an AT&T right now. Like, I'm doing all right. Like, and then it's just like, man, I bet you I can make a career out of this. And I've been doing it 10 years. And
Amen.
So it is fun, but like you said, I'm a family man too. I got a 13-year-old son, a wife, and everyone asks, well, how do you balance that family time? And
that question every day.
And yeah, dude, everything's a question when you're in, and this is like, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you manage? It's like, oh, I see my wife, and she's missed in the 6 years we've been together, almost 7 years we've been together. She has missed 2 shows. 2. One, she had food poisoning. The other one, she had COVID. Like it was.
Yeah,
she's missed 2 shows.
That's amazing.
She goes to every show. She goes on the road every now and again with me if she can. She's missed 2 shows, and like that. My son, like I said, he's 13. He's going to be 14 this year, and he keeps asking like, "Hey, like, can I? When am I going to be able to come to a show?" I'm like, dude, I'm doing like bar shows right now, man. Like, I can't get you into a bar. Like, I know you look like you're older than you actually are, because you're a freak of nature at 13, 5'11", 230 pounds. Like, you're... Oh, he's a freaking tank, dude.
Sheesh. Man, okay.
And like you said,
still growing.
Oh, he's still growing, too. And you know what's funny? His mom, 5'2". Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. So... I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, he
Grocery bills.
oh, you have no idea, bro. Like, I got to do like 4 shows to pay for a week's worth of groceries for him. Like, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, my
Yes,
man,
sir.
my man can eat.
Yeah.
He gets that from me. He gets
Yeah.
that from me, 100%. But you know, like you were saying with sports and everything, he's been playing football for 6, 7 years now, and you know he's getting really good at it, and to the point now where like they already started their lifting program for freshman ball. In eighth, he's in 8th grade. They have already started their lifting program at his school, and it's just like it's January. I don't remember when I played ball them being like, all right, get in the weight room. Like at this point in time, and like in the year, like it was always like May, June. All right, we're gonna start getting in the weight room. We're gonna start running some drills, some camps, and whatnot. And yeah, it's crazy now. Like he works out harder than I did for my college swim team. Like, I'm telling him, I keep telling him all the time, like, dude, you'll thank me later for making me play ball. Like, trust me, you'll thank me later because he's at that point.
You get a lot of other stuff out of it, and besides just the ball, playing ball, the stats and stuff like that. You get friendships, you get life lessons, all of that stuff. Those are the things I can really pull from playing sports. You know, the good times with, you know, my friends. Like those are most of my core memories are from athletics, and they ain't from, you know, oh, these were my stats this game. We beat this team. Like, man, that's there, but like that made me who I was as a young man. Yep. You know, was the athletic programs that I was a part of. So, yeah, that's good that, you know, even like you said, kind of sound like year round. We were kind of year round. I think we took like a month off of football. But, you know, a lot of times that stuff keep you out of trouble too, you know. So you got to stay locked in for so long.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's good that, you know, he's, you know, yeah. You stay out of the house, eating up all of the food.
Absolutely.
You know,
I'm like, dude, get out and do something. Get away from the fridge. Like, I'm going to put a lock on the fridge. But, yeah, and you know what? And like you said, you know, you get a lot more out of sports. Like, I still can remember things and joking around with my buddies on the sidelines and at swim practices and stuff like that, at meets and at games. And, like, it was yesterday. And it was coming up on 20 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a long time ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I keep telling him, like, dude, trust me, I know you think it sucks now. Oh, I want to go. I want to play video games. I want to talk to my girlfriend. Blah blah blah. You'll have a lot of time for that.
A whole lot.
Enjoy the time with your boys now. Like you'll love it.
Yes, indeed.
All right, but Lamar, we are running down near the end of the episode here. I feel like I could talk to you about sports and everything all day, but I do give every guest this opportunity at the end of the show. So if there's anything you want to get out there, whether it's a good message or something for your photography or your career path, whatever it may be, I'm going to give you about a minute. The floor is yours, my man. All
right. So if you have the opportunity, check out my Instagram page, Sky High Sports. skyhigh.sports, sports with a Z at the end. Trying to do some good things with that platform, showcasing sports in Northeast Ohio. Shout out to my boy Tony Bogans, Chris the Creator, my guy Fun Game, Chris Walker. So many people that have helped me out throughout this time and space. Just some of the other things that we got cooking with Sky High Sports. I got a podcast that I started called Tell Me More. I actually got an episode with Tony Bogan coming up pretty soon. We already shot it. I also have a interview series called Beyond the Clout, where we interview sort of experts in different fields in the industry of sports. We had an interview that we recently dropped with Coach Ted Ginn. We did an interview with TJ Petros, a college basketball scout, and also Chet Mason, one of the head basketball coaches up here in Cleveland at Brush, and he's also a USA basketball coach as well. So we're doing more than videography and photography. That is the core of our site, but trying to build out some educational things, and just more just like we consume media a lot of different ways, and so trying to be like full scale media platform. So thank you, Mike, for your time, the invite onto the pod, and I look forward to talking to you more, man. You seem like a really cool guy.
Hey, man, not a problem. We're glad to have you on here, and I'm definitely going to be checking y'all out at Sky High Sports and everything like that for sure.
Thank you.
And the podcast for sure. I'll get all those. You guys want to look at that in the description. I'm going to have all of my man's information here to where you can find him, his podcast, his Instagram, everything like that. Go and follow him. And Lamar, yeah, we're going to stay in touch, man. I'm telling you.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Next time I get some shows up in Cleveland, my man, I'm going to give you some tickets for sure to come and see.
Oh, yeah, I'm there. We got to lock in.
Absolutely. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. Again, I want to thank Lamar for coming out and being on the show. It was a lot of fun. As always, if you enjoyed the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you didn't. That's going to do it for me, and I will see y'all next week. The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by W Energy. Energy drinks made for gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. For gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. Go to the link in the description where you can find the best energy drinks out there. Less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Also, no jitters and no crash afterwards. Use the promo code Mike Bono and get yourself 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my favorite sponsor of the show, and that is Shankit Golf. Golf apparel made for the everyday golfer. We might not go out and shoot a 6 under par. We're probably going to shoot a 6 over par, but this is going to give us the gear that's going to help us rock it on and off of the course. Go to the link in the bio, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get yourself 10% off there as well.